If your child is at school, particularly in the early grades, it's a good idea to have a chat with your child's teacher and find out how they're teaching sight words, irregular words. What strategies are they using? Aligning with what they're doing in class is going to be a great support for your child. You may want to incorporate other practice activities, but if you can use the same terminology, if you can use the same strategies as your teacher, that's going to be really helpful to keep things consistent. So, when I'm teaching a new sight word for the first time, the first thing we're going to do is really study that word. We're going to break that word down. We're going to look at the letters. We're going to say the word. We're going to think about the sounds that we hear when we say the words, and we're going to figure out what's going on with this word. Why is it written this way? Which parts of the words are regular and following our rules, and which parts perhaps do we need to learn by heart? Now, many of the programs now call these heart words, and that is because they identify the part of the word that is irregular, and that is the part of the word that we learn by heart. This is called mapping. So for this one, we may put a dot underneath the letter Y because when we say you, we hear the sound Y. That's a regular sound for the letter Y. The letter U eventually becomes a sound that we teach, but it's much later in most programs. So for now, this is our heart part, and this is the part we're going to learn by heart. I teach irregular words by incorporating spelling and reading at the same time. The reason for that is we can incorporate multi-sensory practice when we're introducing the word that way. I would have my student write this word, and as they're writing it, I would have them say the names of the letters or the sounds. I prefer to use the letter names, but I've seen it work better with children saying the sounds because it identifies the fact that we can make the right sound for some of these letters. So I would have my student write the letter Y and say Y, O, U, and then underline the word and say the whole word, you. I'd have them repeat that a few times in different ways. One way I love for my students to do is to skywrite it. So making a nice straight arm, writing the letters really big in the sky in front of them as they say those letter names, Y, O, U, U. Using their writing hand is key for that one. So if they're a lefty, have them write with their left hand. Then I have a sand tray. I have them write it in the sand. If it's a particularly tricky word, I may have them make it out of Play-Doh, trace it with the Play-Doh. I may have them write it really big on a dry erase board or a window or a door so that they get that multisensory practice over and over and over with that word. Once we've introduced the word, we're going to just practice these words. A little bit of drill and kill, but we can make it fun. So I'm going to have a set of flashcards on the go at all times with my students. If we can practice these every single day, they are going to learn them quickly, and they're going to be able to start reading these. I would have between 2 and 6 words that you're actively practicing with your child at any one time. So you'd have a little stack of cards, show them the card. If they can read it, I usually put that down and we move on to the next one. If they struggle or need help or it takes them a long time, I pop that to the back of the pile. That means they're going to have a chance to read it again really quickly, and that's going to help with that quicker recall the next time they see it. When they've read a word correctly, I usually put a check mark on the back. When they have 3 check marks, then they get to graduate that word, and we'll probably add a new word into our set. A whole bunch of games we can play with these. We can make it fun. I like to get a fly swat or a pointer out, spread the words out on my desk. I say a word, they slam it as quickly as they can. Sometimes I spread them out on the floor and we play hop on the word. So again, I'll say a word, they find that word and jump on it as quickly as they can. Another great game you can play is to make duplicates of all the cards and then play that memory game. Spread them all out face down, turn one over, read the word. See if you can find its partner. That game is really good for developing working memory. So it's a great skill to practice both sight words and working memory.